My name is Hosea, and I prophesied during the reign of Jeroboam II. I was a contemporary with Amos. We shared the same love for God. The people did not heed our message. I remember the day well. I was a young prophet. My message was very similar to Amos. Repent, for judgment is coming. When I felt God speak to me, and he told me to marry a woman named Gomer. I wanted to do what he said, so I found her, and she was so beautiful, and I married her. The first years of our marriage were the most wonderful years of my life. We talked together and we prayed together, and I remember the look in her eye when I would come home from a day of prophesying, and she would be so eager to see me and to tell me what she had thought about through the day. I remember at night when she would hold me, when she would be afraid. Those were beautiful days. We had a son. God told me to name him Jezreel. That was an unusual name. It meant difficulties are ahead. I did not know what he meant. After a few years of marriage and after the birth of our first child, I began to feel Gomer slipping from me. You know, I would come home and there was no longer delight in her eyes. I would try to talk to her, and she didn't seem to care. And she never held me through the night. And I knew something was amiss. It was rumored around town that she had friends, men friends, who comforted her. I did not know. Our second child was born, and God said, "Name him Unloved." And I did, for I felt unloved. And then she was gone more and more and more. And then our third child was born, and God said, "Name him No Kin of Yours." And I did. I remember the day well. I had been prophesying on the streets of Israel when I came home. And as I walked into our small home, I found this note. "Hosea, you need not seek after me. I have gone off with another who promises to give me all my heart longs for. I will never return to you." And I confess to you, I cried. I cried. I gathered our small children around me that night, and we prayed a new prayer. As I said from the depths of my soul, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, bring Gomer back to us." And I said, "Oh God, please protect her. She does not know what she is doing. Oh God, let her see that my love for her is pure. Oh God, let her see that her children's love is pure. Oh God, let her see all that we have here is all that she could ever need." And the tears never stopped. The next day it was the same, and the next day it was the same, and the next day it was the same. And suddenly the days were weeks, and the weeks were months, and the months seemed like years. And she was gone. The tears that I cried became for me like a telescope. This was a strange thing. The tears that I cried became like a telescope that allowed me to do something I had never thought of before, and that was to look deeper into the heart of God than any man who had ever preceded me. I began to feel a pain and realize the pain that I was feeling toward Gomer was the pain that God felt for his people, my people, the nation of Israel, all of those who say that they love him. but who have gone off with others, who have so casually just disregarded his love. My friends would say to me, Hosea, do you just miss her service? Do you miss her preparing food for you or cleaning your home? And it was like, no, you don't understand. I miss her companionship. I miss her talking to me. I miss her holding me. That's why I understood so clearly when God said that's what He desires. He said, I don't want their sacrifices. I want their loyal love. I don't want their burnt offerings. I want their devotion. Every day the pain. Every day the pain. And oh, how I wanted her back. I remember when I received word that the man who had swept her off her feet, tired of her, and sold her into slavery. And then the word of the Lord came to me. And he said, Hosea, go and buy your wife back. That was not done. I was the one who was sinned against. I loved her, but she had done that. Go and buy her back. I see. I put together all the money that I had. And I remember putting the children to bed. And I remember the night that I took that long walk 3 miles from our home. Not to a house, but to the haunts of shame. And I remember the feeling in my stomach, not knowing what I would find behind the door. And I remember knocking on that door. And I remember the woman opening the door and me realizing it was Gomer. Gone were the playful eyes of her youth. Gone was that loving expression, and in its place was sad, sunken eyes. I asked if I could speak to the man who owned her. He came outside, and we negotiated for an hour. And I gave him all that I had to buy her back. We walked the 3 miles back to our home, and she spoke not a word. I thought she would be glad to see me. I thought she would say, Hosea, this is what I've prayed for my whole life, that you would come after me. And I wish I could tell you things changed. But I discovered, just like with God, grace and love shown to someone does not mean that they ever understand. Oh God, help us this day understand your great love for us, and help us today realize the message of this hour for all time is that you pursue us and are willing to buy us back.